On to other news now. The City of Ekurhuleni has delivered its budget for the 2021-2022 financial year. It has a budget of 46.75 billion rand for the year, indicating that operational expenditure will be 42.67 billion, while capital expenditure or investment in infrastructure will amount to just over 4 billion rand. The city says it's looking to raise water rates by 8%, sewage costs by 8% for domestic users and 17% for industrial users. In terms of electricity tariffs, the city is looking to raise those by 14.59%, with all other increases well above inflation. To expand further on their budget, I'm joined on the line by Nkosindiphile Xhakaza, the MMC for Finance, ICT and Economic Development at the city. Now, very good afternoon to you, Mr. Xhakaza. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to SA Today.
Thank you very much. Greetings to you and greetings to the viewers at home.
Now, your operational expenditure for the financial year will be 42.7 billion rand, I do understand. What will be the key areas of expenditure then?
Well, I mean, with the operation expenditure, we're looking at covering the day-to-day activities of the city. In the main, we must ensure that we can procure power from Eskom and supply that power to our communities. We can procure water from the rainwater and transport that water, clean it until our communities actually enjoy it. That we keep the city clean in terms of, your refuse removal, and that, we cut the grass, we attend to potholes, general maintenance and upkeep of the city. Of course, there is other overarching programs that we must attend to that talks to, community development, programs. How do we ensure that, our, in terms of the wage bill, our employees, are actually taken care of. So that is what the operation budget actually covers.
And are those poorer communities in the far-flung areas of South Africa to consider? And of course, with the COVID-19 pandemic having made economic circumstances far worse, how will the city be supporting the disadvantaged communities?
Yeah, well, I mean, we think we've done our part, just firstly to ensure that we manage the tariffs. That the tariffs are cost reflective. We only take that which we get from Eskom, and even subsidize it. What we actually pass to our communities is actually less than what we have to pay to Eskom. What we get from rainwater, we had to just add slightly at 2.2%, just to ensure that some of the costs that we incur to actually transport and store water until it is actually consumed safe and clean by our communities are actually covered. But we are also cautioning those communities that are less fortunate, that do not have with the social package program, and is actually sitting at about 5.7 billion rands, to actually ensure that the indigents, the poorest of the poor, are actually, cushioned. So we're looking at other various mechanisms to actually ensure with the new valuation roll that is going to come up, we've passed a 0% increases there, and we think this will go a long way in meeting our communities halfway.
Well, you do indicate, Mr. Xhakaza, that it was quite difficult for you to collect the rates from the community in the last financial year due to the tough economic constraints. Are you not worried, perhaps, that with all the well above inflation rate increases you are looking to push through, that in actual fact, it might be even more difficult to yield the cash that you are gunning for?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have projected a 90% collection rate. We think, with the COVID, and we've actually managed, to not to go below a 90%. We think it's a reasonable projection. Of course, we'll have to do a bit more in terms of ensuring that we've got a robust, credit control program, that we do get those communities who can pay to actually pay. Of course, we're worried about the indications of an imminent, level. What do you call it? With the increasing, infections, and we're following, carefully, what is going to happen, and we're worried about the impact. Once there is another form of lockdown, and the impact is huge in our economy. And once there's less economic activities, there's less consumption of municipal services. There's also less money that comes through in terms of the payment, rate, and that then, it do impacts, our ability and the speed within which we actually deliver services.
And you've earmarked over 4 billion rand for capital expenditure. What are some of the key projects that you'll be working on to improve the fortunes of the city?
Well, we have we're very happy that we've managed to maneuver the impact of COVID, the hard lockdown, and that we've developed now a capex program that we think will be affordable to our communities. You would know that at some point we had ramped up our capex program to about 7.4 billion. But because of the economic challenges, the impact of lockdown, we had to be considerate. But we still think that with the 4 billion program, we'll go a long way. And of course, we have to reprioritize. We're still driving the PROPUA program to ensure that we deliver on the human settlements. We've got about 2.4 billion to actually ensure that the 16 mega cities or the mega human settlements projects that are actually in place, we get to complete them. We're talking here the Clayville 45, a beautiful human settlements program, mixed settlements in the north of Tembisa. We're talking the John Dube project, in the far east of Duduza, Tsakane. We're talking the Low Ward in Jimistin. We're talking the Hafondane. All these mega human settlements will go a long way in ensuring that we do deal with issues of, the backlog in terms of housing provision, but we do make an effort in eradicating informal settlements. Of course, we must invest in the energy supply and the security of water supply to cater for the growth of the region, the residential growth, as well as the economic growth. We have to ensure that in the water space, we build and complete the reservoir. The reservoir program is over a 1.2 billion program that we're actually doing to ensure that there is enough water, even in case of challenges that are brought by climate change and so forth, that there's a consistent provision of electricity, in particular to the industry. We're an industrial city. Our business communities in Springs, in Jimistin, in Arroad, in Isando, in Kempton Park, even possible investors that want to come into our space, we have to guarantee that there's a stable, provision of energy. Of course, this budget also talks to social programs. Do we provide, enough for youth in terms of recreational facilities? Have we got some of the swimming pools, including in the previously disadvantaged in our township? Are we bringing this infrastructure needs? Is the road network ready? Are we investing in the ICT programs? Are we investing in the public transport planning and provision, the BRT in our space? All those programs are actually programs that are catered for in the 4 billion capital budget.
Mr. Xhakaza, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your update. We do appreciate the time.